welcome to the Slip Slip Sis YouTube channel. My name's Che.
I'm Gabz.
And this is episode 27 of the podcast. We are coming to you in like a fiery blitz because Gabz's internet has been on the fritz. And we were like, we're not going to podcast today. And then she calls me and I'm in the middle of putting my fitted sheet on my bed. So I had to run to get my phone. And I have no air conditioning in my condo. She's like, my internet's back. So I'm like running, collecting all this stuff. And so I now have a fan aimed at my legs because I think I look dewy, but it's truly just an entire layer of sweat from running around my house. Nice. But this is our YouTube channel where we share all about our different crafting activities. And I'm coming to you from Los Angeles, and we are in the middle of our heat wave. I think San Jose is as well, which is where Gabz is coming from. But Gabz has the good sense to have air conditioning. So alas, here we are. And we don't know if our internet's going to stay or not. So we are going to jump right in, unless you think I've forgotten something, except that you can find information about us down below. Over to you, Gabz.
So I have 5 FOs. How many do you have, Che? 3. Okay, so shall I go first?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Let's see. Shall I do the order? Why do I only have 4 here? Which
oh God.
Shoot.
Well, just get rid of the other one.
Oh, it's my affinity socks.
Okay. Well, maybe Gabz will show them on the vlog.
Yeah. They're also on our Instagram. I did the affinity socks by Carrie Cogan Brown for Nitty Natty's Shark Week. And I finished them. We did not win prizes. I watched the entire 2-hour lives to find out if Jaylee and I won prizes. We did not win prizes. However, statistically, the odds were not good. There was like 1,000 socks, right? And I only did one. So the affinity socks it's a mosaic color work cuff, and then it's a shorty. So I showed them on the podcast, and if Chaley's feeling spicy, I'll send her a picture and she'll put it right in this space between our 2 heads. Make your head go like this.
What if we're facing the other way?
Oh, do the other way just in case. Okay, your turn.
Oh, that was so fast.
Yeah, I'm worried about my internet here.
Show one of the ones that you have physically, because then the math would work out. Because you typically would have 4 physical ones.
Okay, well, let me get my... I have...
Gabz, you're making me so nervous.
I know, it's like... Did you do this in elementary school when you had those multiplication time tests and the teacher would start the timer and you had to answer all the multiplication problems?
And like as many as you could.
Yeah, and it was 100 multiplication problems.
Yes.
That feels like that. However, I can do the multiplication, but at the time I would just memorize the order that the numbers went down in. Like 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. Like I wouldn't. So I could just fill it in.
Not actually good at math. I'm a good memorizer.
Legitimately, I'm just good at memorizing. That's probably why I'm a decent stage manager. I just memorize stuff. Okay, I have these socks to show you. These are the July sock swaps that Shaylee and I did, and look at how crazy they are. The yarn is No Touching, which is the orange, which is from Earl Grey Fiber Company's Knitflix and Chill Advent from Arrested Development. I love Arrested Development. The old season's not the new one. The new one is weird. And then this colorway is Summer, and we were having an extreme heat wave here in San Jose when I was making this. I was like, this looks like a heat map, and like one side is like kind of more tone, and this side is like bam. The pattern is the Morning Walk Socks by the Crazy Sock Lady, and I think Chaley's, you might be able to see the pattern better on it than mine because mine's just like bam.
So I'll just slip in here with you because we have the same FO. And so yes, these are the Morning Walk socks. The yarn the main color didn't have a name. It is Daisy Stitch Company. So Gabz named it Beach Ball. And then Gabz had given me a 50 gram, which would have been perfect for our original plan of just doing vanilla socks, but then I got nervous because we decided to do these texture socks. And I didn't think I was going to have enough. I had plenty. I would have been fine. It actually would have been a little tight. There wasn't a lot left, but I added in a contrast, which is actually a color that Gabz gave me as part of the Advent swap that we did. And this is Gilderoy Lockhart, which I believe was from the Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets Advent that Dragon Horde Yarn and Yarn Cafe Creations do together. This is the pattern. You can see it's got this kind of floopy bit, which we both did wrong. I did mine wrong up till about here, and then finally got it right. And then there's this nice, what I like to call the puffy cable right there as well. So I think we both chose very loud colors for each other for July, not knowing that we had done that. And I think they turned out pretty good. Back to you, Gabz.
Oh, me again. I have another pair of socks. Oh no, I dropped some on the ground. We're coming to you. I'm coming to you with this very fancy background with my thermostat because my internet's back, but I'm scared I'm going to lose it. So I was too scared to move my computer. So all of my FOs are in my child's booster seat. That's what this is right here on the corner. So
is it Lenny's?
Yeah, it's Lenny's.
Oh gosh, it's going to be crummy.
No, I cleaned it yesterday.
Oh, okay, good.
Because I had all this time because I didn't have to edit the vlog. And then she puked on the couch. So yeah, that happened. She's fine. She gagged on some mac and cheese because she put too much. Well, she told me her mouth was open, empty, and it wasn't. And then she had too much mac in her mouth.
Great.
So these, sorry, it took me a while. They're so tall. These are the Freckled Whimsy Advent 2022 socks that Chaylee gifted me her other side because Chaylee knit them actual in Christmas 2022. The white is Vanna's Choice from Joanne, and I knit one stripe a day. And then on the last day, I blitzed the heels and cuffs because I loved them so much. They are so tall, and it makes me a little bit sad that they're so tall because the length of them goes to the point where my calf starts to widen, so I can't actually pull them up. So you can't actually see the full stripe, and I have to scrunch them down.
Oh.
That's okay, because I have like out of proportion calves for the rest of for the rest of my body. My calves are the same size as my husband's, and he's 6'3".
Excellent.
Yeah. So I mean,
he just has spindly legs.
That's true too. I have big legs, and his are kind of spindly. I made these. They're amazing, and I actually had a lot of extra. I had six stripes of extra for each sock. Like I knit the 24, and then I counted the extra colors, and I had 6 extra colors in each ball. And I was like, huh. So then I put it in my cozy memories, and then I wound it up into Chaylee's.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I did those. They were super fun. I was really excited. I liked doing them every day. They were pretty quick. I understood why Chaylee was having an obsession with them.
It's very satisfying.
Yes, very much so. That's all. What you got?
All right, I have a sweater. This is coming out. I did this as a test. It's coming out on August 11th. It is the Stego sweater by Mary Hunt of Hunt Hand Knits. Look at that, baby. I am not putting this on my body because it is much too hot for this. It is a DK weight sweater with this color work yoke and then the fun color work on the sleeves as well as on the bottom. I opted to do 3/4 length sleeves for mine because that's just how I tend to flow anyways. I tested the size 2, and I have like a 34 and a half inch bust. But all of those size number things will come out.
That's great. Good luck.
When she releases the pattern. This is my second time testing for her. And I use Knit Picks. I did the City Tweed for the main color. It's called Snowshoe. And then I don't know what I'm doing. And then
I don't know either.
Hello.
That's better. That's definitely the best
one. Green is called Moss, which is Swish DK, also from Knit Pick. So this turned out great. I actually didn't need all of the yarn that I ordered. So surprise, if you would like to have a fully intact City Tweed DK weight in Snowshoe, please comment below that you would like to have this, and I'd be happy to send it to you. In fact, if you're okay with it, I actually have basically a whole other pulse scan. I haven't measured exactly how many grams is left in this, but you, if you're okay with it being partially used, too, could have this City Tweed DK. So comment down below, and we'll pick somebody who wants to have this because I'm not going to use it. You should.
Yep, like and subscribe and comment.
Awesome. Over to you, Gabz.
Let me do So I finished my dust of snow.
Oh my God, our dad is calling me and I don't know what to do.
Dad,
Yeah.
mute yourself and
I'll
I'll.
mute.
Okay, so I have finished this dust of snow advent. I'm laughing because I know exactly what she's saying and I can't hear her either. This is a pattern by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. It's Shaylee made me an advent calendar with what's it called? It was candy themed. So it started, oopsies, it's folded. It started here and then and then I put in it's really hard to show because it's really big. I put in a color every day. It's already blocked. It came out so beautiful. I think this is my favorite thing I've ever made. It's super pretty. I have like a bajillion mistakes in it, but you can't even tell because I just blocked that baby out and it was fine. So mistakes were that it was supposed to be 100 stitches all the way up. And I did not make it 100 stitches all the way up because sometimes I would forget a decrease or I'd do too many increases or something banana pants would happen. But I loved it. It came out great. And yeah, should I do a Shaylee? I love it. It came out really nice. Like
It's quite nice on you, Gabz.
I think I want to wear it on the first day of school, but I'm worried it's going to be too hot. Yeah. So that's my dust of snow advent. I had a very like pinky pastel-y, which is probably because my sister picked all the things and these are
Okay, well, I didn't pick what the freckle whimsy was. That was surprise for all of us.
Oh, yes.
In case anyone was worried, our dad is fine. He's at Costco and they had like the Kirkland signature, like branded shirts, which I love Costco, and I have Kirkland signature sweats and I also Kirkland signature slides. So he was trying to complete the outfit for me, but needed to know what size and what color I wanted. So pretty much same level as emergency.
My husband is also at Costco and he just texted me asking me what I wanted to because our daughter, my older daughter, needs a new swimsuit because that girl is growing like a weed. I'm like, she's like, Mama, it's too tight. And I'm like, great.
Hey.
It's your turn because all I have left is my Stephen West.
Okay, I have another sweater for you all. It's the season of sweaters now that we're in this heat wave.
Yeah, good choice.
Thank you. I have finally finished. I'll hold for the round of applause. My prismatic sweater. If you've been with us for a bit, you know that this has been quite the saga because I've changed my mind on the colors and started it like I want to say like thrice now. So it's a miracle that we got done with it. Plus, I kind of petered out on the body and I don't really know why. But it is done. Look at that.
It's so cute.
Thank you. Right in time for fall. So this is the prismatic sweater by Woolen Pine Designs, and the colorways I did are for the main color. I have Pop Rocks and Candy Corn from Dragon Horde Yarn, and then the magenta is the Plucky Knitter, and it's called Take My Breath Away, and the kind of yellowy gold is Earl Grey Fiber Company, and it is called Bread and Butterfly. That's a wrap, folks. I'm very excited, and it's clearly the season of color work yokes because those tend to fit my broader shoulders a lot better. But my next one, I think I'm going to cast on per my sister's recommendation, is the Weekender. So that may happen this weekend, but who knows? But we're done. I did opt to do 3/4 length sleeves for this one as well.
It's cute. I really like Tristan's dyeing style. Feels really good for sweaters. Like it's a really good look for the sweater. She's also been complaining about her sweater first. She's like, I don't want to work in my prismatic. I've done 1 whole inch.
Sometimes I'm like, I've done 1 row. I'm done.
You needed to hit up that like 30 minutes of knitting situation that Nitty Natty and the Crazy Sock Lady do.
I tried, but I didn't actually have 30 minutes that were like, oh, I can just like do this. It was like the only time I have to knit is when I get home.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to do that.
I know. I have to go back to my real job next week.
That's hard.
I will say that I do appreciate when podcasters say that, like, I'm not working right now. That's why I have so many more finished objects than my sister does, because I am a teacher on summer break. I do watch my children, and it's been a week of vomit and poo everywhere. So that's a
Thank you for that.
struggle. Yeah. But this is why it's like, if it seems like I'm getting a lot done, it's because I'm not working at my job for 8 hours a day, nor do I have a commute. So
Right.
want to keep like real expectations of like, how is she working full time? No, I'm not, because I'm not. Because I'm not doing it all. All right, is it my turn? I'm so proud of these, Jay.
Oh God, sorry, that's my alarm. My laundry's ready.
Oh my gosh, I thought you turned it on.
I forgot.
Okay, this is the spoiler if you haven't finished your Stephen West Contrast Blast Surprise Sock Along Socks to Look Away. However, the pattern has been out. Like we're on clue 4. So I finished both socks because I have learned about myself that second sock syndrome is very real, and I do not get stuff done. That I have to do the second sock at the same time. And like sometimes I even just cast on both cuffs at the same time, knit both cuffs. So then when I finish the first sock, I'm like, oh, well, there's no reason not to start it because the cuff is already done.
Right.
So, but these I knit in true tandem because I knew that it was going to be complicated. And I knew that there was going to be parts of it that I didn't like, and I wasn't going to want to go back and do it again. So I used Mandy's Makings. Ta-da!
I think those are cray.
I used Mandy's Makings. I used to share a pair that I split with my sister, who's surprised that we shared yarn. The blue is called Cheers, and the purple is called Stomping Grapes. I don't think this pair is in her shop anymore. We got it like a year or 2 ago. And then the pattern does not call to do this reverse, like you would do 2 purple cuffs or 2 blue cuffs, but I flipped it because I wasn't sure if I had enough yarn. I did, because the pattern calls for 2 100-gram skeins. That's 200 grams of yarn, and I only had 100. So I wanted to be just in case safe, but it was fine, and I got tiny feet. So it worked out fine. I also did do a left sock and a right sock. The blue is a left sock, and the purple is the right sock. And the way that I'm remembering it is that purple has an R in it. Sophisticated right here. But it's not an ergonomic toe, so it truly doesn't, like, it doesn't matter which one you put on your feet, but it did matter for the pattern, right? So I wouldn't do the wrong one. So this chunk was like clue 1. These floopy basket weave was clue 2, plus the heel flap and the turn. Then this cable was clue 3, and then clue 4 was the remainder of this basket weave again, and then the toe. I think I was able to finish them way fast because this last chunk, because I have a size 6 foot. So it was V fast. And I also modified this, and Shaylee did the same modification. This called for 8 of these floopy bits, this basket weave, and I only did 4 because it's already a really tall sock.
There's also a second section of the foot that neither of us did because I'm a 7.5, and it was just, I'm like, I even did the same amount as my sister. So I was like, no, it's gonna be like the longest foot in the whole world.
Yes. So if you're knitting a larger size, you probably do need more than 50 grams each. But if you're knitting a small-ish size, I also knit these on US 00s, and that was horrendous because I wanted to get closer to get engaged. Did I get gauge? Absolutely not.
Oh, I didn't even like gauge measure.
I only got nervous because it was a cast on of 60, and what actually fits my foot is a cast on of 52. So with the 8 stitch difference, I was like, ugh. So that's what I did.
Well, while we're on the topic of that, are we ready to switch to whips? Because I have that as my whip.
Yeah, do that.
So we're still in spoiler section for the Stephen West Contrast Blast socks. I have mine in this wonderful Moira's Wigs bag that my sister made for me. And I have finished one of the socks. I was too lazy to split my balls of yarn to do them 2 at a time the way that Gabz did. So I'm just going to knit the other one. But Gabz texted me this morning that it's the Lolo Did It weekend sock challenge.
Uh-huh.
And I did technically start the second sock last night, which I think is still within the time frame of it. So I'm going to try and blitz the entire
No, dude.
second
The
sock.
challenge is 2 socks. It's
Oh,
a pair.
well, I'm going to at least for my challenge, I'm going to try and
Yeah.
finish it.
Yeah. You should still do it.
Because then it'll get it out for me.
I do have a pair of socks that I could start, which I have to confess later.
Okay. It's another test knit. Whatever. So these are mine. This is let me put it on a sock blocker so you can see it. My contrast blast socks. I am not doing right and left because I didn't feel like doing that. And I also am not doing reverse color socks because I felt like I would confuse myself with the colors. So I'm just going to do same sock. So this is what mine looks like. Actually, we're thematic because this gold is the bread and butterfly that was on my prismatic sweater from Earl Grey Fiber Company. And then the kind of gray variegated colorway is Lotus Lantern Festival from Destination Yarn. And I was thinking mine looked kind of like bejeweled.
Yeah, especially your heel flap. Show them your heel flap. It looks like, it makes me think of tiny, little jewels. I don't know. It gives me a little bit of Indiana Jones vibes.
Yep. I was kind of looking like an ancient temple situation with
But like what Hollywood thinks an ancient temple looks like,
yes.
right? Like that kind of campy Xena, Indiana Jones, explorer vibe. I like it. I think they're cool.
Thank you. Well, because I think this creates almost like a maze.
Yeah.
I will say, I think my least favorite part was having to do this cable because that was it was a little fiddly for me. So I didn't entirely love that piece. So far, my favorite part has been the 2x2 cuff because I know exactly how to do that.
So far, my favorite part was the Kitchener.
I liked casting on the 60 stitches. But I think it's coming out good. And I have already done the cuff. So because that's the part that I knew how to do. So I now just need to get going on the rest of it. But I think it should go pretty fast since we're able to finish each clue in a night. And for me, I only get maybe 2 hours of knitting in the nighttime total. So I think I could finish it over today and tomorrow. Spoiler over.
All right, so I'm working on my Vesuvius top right now. And I think this is the most intense game of yarn chicken. And I'm so short on yarn that it's it's ridiculous. So most of the time when I knit tops, I can get away with at least 100 yards less than the pattern. But apparently that's not the case in crochet. So I've knit this top. And you're like, oh, looks good. Yeah, here's the bottom of the top.
Oh, golly.
But so I'm almost done because I have this much yarn left.
Oh, God.
It's 2 skeins of yarn. The pattern called for 1,000 yards. And I was like, well, I have 860. That's perfect. That will be totally fine. I'm short-waisted. It'll be fine. It was not fine. So I've added, this is not what the pattern called for. This bottom little floopy bobbly bit is not what the pattern called for. It calls for a split hem and then an I-cord edging, which was not going to happen because I calculated how much I needed for the body before the split hem. And I was like, okay, so I need 3 pattern repeats. Well, I only had enough for 2 pattern repeats. So I'm like, okay, well, it'll be short. And I was like, let me weigh my yarn and see if I could do a split hem. Yes, I had 8 grams. So I was like, that's not going to work. And then there were options. I could have gone and looked for this yarn. I was talking about it in Vlogmas. People were like, oh, we'll just fade in a white or just look on Ravelry D-Stash. I'm like, I could have totally done all those things. And those are great solutions, but I also just want to be done. I've had to rip out this pattern a couple times. I had to modify the sizing because the sizing didn't work out. I've done a decent amount of modifications to it. So I'm like, I'm over it. I'm going to wear it with a dress. I'm going to block it half to death because crochet blocks vertically a lot better than widthwise. So hopefully I will finish this today and then I will block this buddy. This is the Vesuvius. It's really pretty. The neckline is pretty. It's really nice. It's a drop shoulder. I enjoyed I enjoy, this is one of those where I didn't enjoy the process of making it, but I really want the garment.
Mm,
So I don't think I can make long-term crochet projects. I just don't think they're for me. Like big project, like big things, like the small squares for the Battenberg are fine. But yeah, so the colorway is Lemon Drop from Ba Yarns in their La Jolla base. And I got this from the Pearly Girls shop that was closing. So this is also for the budget make along because I got two skeins for $18.
that's really good.
Yeah, and I saw their tag on it and it was like $33 a skein. So I'm like feeling not that bad about how this went down. So, yes, the Vesuvius pattern is a free pattern until the end of August. So if you're interested, it's by Nomad Stitches. You can go to her blog and then you can sign up for the newsletter and then you get access to the pattern at least until August. I'm a very, very slow crocheter and I've kind of gotten this done in a month. If I had enough yarn, I would have gotten it done in a month without my mistakes. So I crocheted. Okay, so I crocheted the dimensions of a size 3, but I didn't follow the pattern. I just had to measure and do some calculations for it. But that's my own doing because I didn't get gauge either. So yes. I will say though that people in the Facebook group do say that it seems to be coming out big. So if you're between sizes, size down.
Mm,
So, and I was between sizes. So and I was like, but I don't know. So I sized up. So I should have sized down. So I should have made it 2.
mm,
Yes.
no.
Especially because I think the designer has broader shoulders and a petiter chest, and that is the opposite of me.
Ah,
So, but if you have broader shoulders and a petiter chest, that's probably this is probably the top for you.
okay. I have another, actually only have sock whips. So this is the one I'm working on as we speak in this cute Sharky bag that my sister made for me. These are I'm calling them my almost Barbie socks because the yarn absolutely reminds you of Barbie, but they're actually an Easter colorway. The colorway is called Frosted Peeps from Desert Vista Dye Works. I have 1 tube finished because it's a
Oh,
self
cute.
striping. And so I decided I wanted to do the whole thing in the striping and then I'll put in the afterthought heel. So I finished this, I think a couple of days ago, maybe over the weekend. And then actually it was over the weekend because I wanted to get through the toe so I could work on the second one while I went to go see the Barbie movie, which I loved. So I have the AMC Stubs pass. I might go see it again because I get 3 movies a week. But I am actually signed up to go see Haunted Mansion on Monday. So I'm excited about that. Sorry, it's a little bit of news or life things, but I am loving how this is going. This is the stitch marker that Gabz and I got when we did the like bubblegum machine at Black Squirrel in Berkeley. So if you haven't seen our Wine Country Yarn Hop vlog, check that out to see how we ended up with these babies. Again, Desert Vista Dye Works. It's the Frosted Peeps, and I am doing Afterthought heel on my stripy socks here.
Those are cute. I like them a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. So I am also finally finishing, and Shaylee's so proud of me, my hypnotic yarn. I'm finally finishing my Yarnable colorways that I got in 2021. So I finished one. Look at this, Jay. I finished one.
Oh, I love it. Looks like mine.
I know, it looks exactly like Shaylee's. So the orange is sweet and sour, and the blue is summer vibes. And these are the July and August for the Yarnable box, which we got. And then I totally flaked on finishing, but it's fine. I did it. And I'm now knitting the second one, except I'm knitting them out of my previous Shark Bite crochet sock because something went awry with my gauge again. And when I tried to put the sock on my foot, it didn't go on my foot. So this is further realization that crocheting garments may not be for me. Which I could gauge swatch, right? I could gauge swatch and I could make more of an effort. But because for me, I have that skill in knitting, I'm not seeing the motivation to do that, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I can knit, I make crochet amigurumis, but that doesn't matter about your gauge, right? So if it turns out 3 inches instead of 4 inches, it's fine. Or like a blanket, gauge doesn't really matter. You just make more squares,
Even
right?
like a shawl.
Yeah, you just make more rows. But for like, I think my issue is circular garments in crochet, or maybe
Mm.
cylindrical.
You did okay with the hat.
Uh-uh.
Oh, great.
No. We were all supposed to be making these crochet hats, and at the end of it, I was just like, F it. And I knit a rib brim on it because I was like, I can't do this. I just
Oh,
picked up my crochet stitches put them on my knitting needles, and then I knit it. Because
wonderful.
yeah, so I thought this was going to be the summer of reinvigorating my crocheting.
Crochet sleigh.
um, Mandy of Mad Cow Mandy commented on one of my Vlogmas, since it says "slay your crochet," which is really a good phrase. She should put that on one of her journals. She makes really cute journals. If you haven't checked out her shop yet, so this is sock 1. This is sock 2 that will hopefully be done.
I bet you can finish it tomorrow.
Maybe today or tomorrow, depending on how things go, because I'm through the heel, but I really like this. I remember really liking Chaley's and being really jealous then.
I don't
And I
know
was
why
like,
you didn't just do it with me.
I don't know.
Because you also liked my other 2-striping one that I did. Every time I do it, you're like, I love that. And I'm like, just do it, Gabrielle.
No,
I can't help you when you're like this.
I don't know. All right, your turn, Shay.
Okay, I only have one more whip.
Oh, I'm not done. Sorry. We have to thank one of Chaley's best friends, Inger, who got me this bag, which is so great. She was so sweet. She was so sweet to even get Chaley something. And then she was like, I think Chaley may have begged her, can you get one for my sister too? Like, look how cute
No, she asked. She was like, "Does your sister want anything too?"
She's so nice.
Yeah.
I've never met this girl either. I only know her through pictures, and I'm sure she only knows me through pictures too. So I've never talked to this girl, and she was all the way in Amsterdam, and she got that for me too because I was super sad. I was like, Chaley's getting one, but
Ah!
I was like, I cannot ask because like if it was Michaela, I would just ask.
Right.
Right.
We've known Michaela since I was like 11.
Yeah. If it was Michaela, I would have just been like, yo, Michaela, can I give you money?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if Inger lets you have a +1 to her wedding in December, you can come with me. Where was I? Oh, this is in another bag that my sister made for me, and I was being thematic with summer sock camp and hotness. So these are some socks that I also cast on in my like Barbie like vibes and theme, and this came from the special box that Universal Yarn sent to us, and these are out of the 2 yarns that Gabz let me have, which I'm very excited about. I started some DK socks, but it's actually 2 different yarns held together. So I haven't made a ton of progress, but this is what it's looking like so far. So I tried something out that I've never done before where I did a DK 2 yarns held together color dip. And so I held this one, which is kind of the solid color, double to just do the color dip, and then I transitioned to holding the 2 different colors together for the rest of it, which actually think it's subtle, but I think it kind of worked out. It's giving me Barbie Dream House right now.
Yeah.
So these are 2 different colors from Universal Yarn. Whoopsie. This one, it was a little tricky, I will say, because typically when I pull from both sides, it's in a cake. And I probably should have like recaked this up to be able to do that, but I decided that I didn't need to do that. So I had to find the middle from inside the thing. So of course it barfed. And so I had that, plus then I was pulling from the outside of this, but it doesn't just go around like a ball, right? So it was like,
it was wobbly.
It was a whole thing. So I'm really glad I did that way. I might, as I get through this, just like for the second sock, wind this into a cake to make it easier on myself. But this one is called Uni Merino. This is its tag. And the colorway is called Rose Finch. These are both fingering weight yarns. And then this one is called Philly. It still has its tag on it. And this one is called Butterfly. So I'm having a grand time with these. I have, since I've been trying to get through my Stephen West socks and these stripy socks, they haven't gotten as much love from me, but I think these ones are going to go by super fast because they are the DK. So we should be good. But here they are.
We are affiliates for Universal Yarn. So the link is below in our description. If you click on the link and you buy something from Universal Yarn at no extra cost to you, Shaylee and I make a small commission for recommending this yarn to you. We've knit with it many times. I think is this our 4th project?
This is my 3rd.
Oh, I knit my 2 Tenacity and Serendipity things.
I have these socks, and then I knit my gridlock socks out of Universal Yarn, and then I actually use Universal Yarn when I was testing a pattern when I did the Grover sweater.
Oh, nice. So we've used it. We love them. It's they're great. They're versatile. They have more like natural fibers, like lots of plant-based fibers, especially if that's something that you're looking for. And what I'm actually starting soon, this is future plans, but we're talking about it. I'm doing a 30 socks in 30 days in September. So I've got 3 Universal Yarn cakes for that. And then our last cake that we got for them, I'm going to make my daughter's matching sweaters. Now I have to go because my husband's calling me, Shaylee. So you're going to have to talk while I mute myself.
Oh, well, I have nothing else to share. But I'm sure Gabz has more things, but I'm just going to skip to my life updates, and then when we might go back to the knitting. So what's new with Shaylee? Well, I have a pest problem, which I think you might have heard. Oh, she's just going. It's truly just me. So I had an issue with a skunk, and I actually redid my backyard. I think I shared about that on an earlier podcast. But the pest problem has continued because there's I have a fence, and you can see the dig marks where it's disrupting, and some of my plants have been pulled up. So then I had to cayenne pepper it. But I ended up cayenne peppering myself while I was trying to do this. And I now have tiles up along the thing that is left over from the bathroom renovation to protect myself from the pest. And that concludes our commercial break with my story. Over to Gabz.
So I have to go because Daniel's car won't start, and he's got both my daughters there at Costco. So I have to go right now to get my children because we don't know what's wrong with his car. He says there isn't anything wrong with the battery, and I have to go potentially give him a jump and get my daughters. So,
okay. Well, thank you so much for watching. And any other knitting updates, check out Gabz's vlog. This was our most emergent vlog or podcast ever. Like and subscribe for more of this exciting content.
Yes, watch the vlog to find out. I'm sure everybody's fine, but watch the vlog today to find out what happened with the car.
Bye.